Hi guys, it's me, Elissa, and I was thinking today that I would like to share a story with you. This is coming from what's called the Jesus Storybook Bible, and it's one that we got for our kids when they were very small, and my 5-year-old is a fan. She likes all the artwork and the way that the stories are told. It's a pretty cool book, and so as those family Bibles go, it's one that we appreciate. So there's a story in here, and it's called The Singer. And I'd like to read it to you, and then I'll show you the pictures. So The Singer is from the Sermon on the Mount, which is a story about how Jesus was doing some teaching up on a hill, and a lot of people were listening. And so that got written down in a few different books of the Bible. There's parts of it in Matthew and in Luke, and so this story comes from that. So I'll show you the picture first, so you can get an idea of that in your head. Wherever Jesus went, lots of people went too. They loved being near him. Old people, young people, all kinds of people came to see Jesus. Sick people, well people, happy people, and sad people, and worried people, lots of them, worrying about lots of things. What if we don't have enough food or clothes? Or suppose we run out of money? What if there isn't enough and everything goes wrong and we won't be all right? What then? When Jesus saw all the people, his heart was filled with love for them. They were like a little flock of sheep that didn't have a shepherd to take care of them. So Jesus sat them all down, and he talked to them. The people sat quietly on the grassy mountainside and listened. From where they sat, they could see the blue lake glittering below them and the little fishing boats coming in from a night's catch. The spring air was fresh and clear. Can you see the blue lake? And the boats? And all the people? I think I see some birds too. He had a big crowd around him. The next part talks about the birds. See how the people are thinking about them? Look, I think that bird is going to the supermarket, the grocery store. See those birds over there? Jesus said. Everyone looked. Little sparrows were pecking at seeds along the stony path. Where do they get their food? Perhaps they have pantries all stocked up. Cabinets full of food. Everyone laughed. Who's ever seen a bird with a bag of groceries? Isn't that silly? No, Jesus said, they don't need to worry about that, because God knows what they need, and God feeds them. Let's see what's on the next page. Ooh, I bet you can tell what this part's going to be about. Look at that. Do you see those flowers and how they're all dressed up in clothes? Let's read this part. And what about these wildflowers? Everyone looked. Around them, flowers were growing. Anemones, daisies, pure white lilies. Where do they get their lovely clothes? Do they make them? Or do they go to work every day so they can buy them? Do they have closets full of clothes? Everyone laughed again. Who's ever seen a flower putting on a dress? No, Jesus said, they don't need to worry about that, because God clothes them in royal robes of splendor. Not even a king is that well dressed. I've seen some pictures of kings and queens and princes and princesses wearing some very fancy clothes, but I don't think there's anything as fancy as a beautiful flower that's growing. Wow. Okay, this is going to be the last page. You can see Jesus with the people up on the hill, and the birds and the flowers and the boats. I think Jesus was just talking about everyday things that were all around. The kids and the people had never met a king, but as they gazed out over the lake, glittering and sparkling below them, the hillsides dressed in reds, purples, and golds, they felt a great burden lift from their hearts. Do you know what that means? When something heavy you've been carrying, you lift it up and you feel free. They could not imagine anything more beautiful. Little flock, Jesus said, you are more important than birds and more important than flowers. The birds and the flowers don't sit and worry about things, and God doesn't want his children to worry either. God loves to look after the birds and the flowers, and God loves to look after you too. Jesus knew that God would always love and watch over the world that God had made, everything in it. Birds, flowers, trees, animals, everything. And most of all, God's children. Even though people had forgotten, the birds and the flowers hadn't forgotten. They still knew their song. It was the song of all God's creation that God had sung to God from the very beginning. It was the song people's hearts were made to sing. God made us, God loves us, God is very pleased with us. It was why Jesus had come into the world, to sing them that wonderful song, to sing it not only with his voice, but with his whole life, so that God's children could remember it and join in and sing too. So that's our story for today. And next time maybe we'll choose a song to sing together. Have a great day.